Gary, you doing this or me?
I don't know.
Yeah, I got it. One House bill, I can do it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
All right, good morning, everyone. I'd like to convene the Judiciary Committee meeting for Tuesday, May 18th. Welcome back. We have one item on our agenda today. Hopefully folks saw the revised agenda. There's only one item on our agenda. That is House Bill 6595. Before I do that, any comment from my co-chair, the ranking member?
No, sir. Good morning.
Seeing none, I will entertain a motion for a JF of House Bill 6595.
So moved.
Second, believe Kristen Conley.
Yep, before we start debate, Representative Conley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would need to recuse myself from this bill as currently drafted.
Okay, so I have a motion from Senator Winfield, a second from Representative Dillon. 1 second to adjust my screen here so I can see everybody. This is a bill that comes to us from the Labor Committee and then through the Appropriations Committee and maybe elsewhere as well. It's an act concerning labor matters related to COVID-19, personal protective equipment, and other staffing issues. I understand there's a few reasons it's before us. One is this has the employee recall rights language, which was contained in a similar Senate bill, which this committee already JF'd out. I understand that that language as currently drafted in this bill will be amended when this bill hits the floor. It is pretty expansive, and I believe it's the intent of the proponents of this bill to narrow that language considerably when it hits the House floor. I believe there's also an issue in this bill involving a $25,000 fine, which would make it a mandatory referral to us for a business that does not, a healthcare related business that does not have enough of a supply of PPE. I have discussed that provision with the proponent of this bill. I understand there's some concerns of members of this committee about how that particular section is currently drafted and what would happen in the event that the business tries to acquire PPE and is unable. The House Labor Chair has indicated to me that she is willing to work on that language as well. And with that, we will entertain further discussion on the bill. Representative Fishbein.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to stay focused on Section 10, which has to do with that $25,000 fine. I have some questions about the width and breadth of that, if I may.
You can proceed. I'm looking. Was Representative Porter able to join us? Doesn't look like yet, but okay. Go. Please proceed.
Sure. I'm looking at a covered provider in line 767, and it says, and this is basically the definition section, says a covered provider means a healthcare provider or long-term care provider. Now, I guess I would expect, I don't know what that means in the extreme. In the limited, I could say that's probably hospitals and nursing homes. But the language before us is really unclear. It does have a qualification of 25 employees or more to fall within this. But my question to you, sir, is what is the extent, the length? Is there a radiologist outfit, Connecticut Radiology, I think, has satellite offices around the state. Are they considered to be a healthcare provider under this legislation?
Representative Fishbein, if you look at line 754 of the bill and 755, the term healthcare provider is defined. There's a cross-reference to section 19A-17B of the general statutes. Obviously this particular provision seems more probably a section of the statutes that the public health department deals with more than the judiciary committee generally does. But I think healthcare provider is a term of art within the statute that is defined and generally recognized, in our state and in our statutes. Similar with a long-term care provider, the definition for that is contained on lines 763 to 766. And again, there's a cross-reference to 19A of the general statutes. I believe those terms are readily understandable and known in the industry.
Okay, I thank you for that. And then particularly looking at long-term care provider, it says at line 764, an alcohol or drug treatment facility. So, I did glance at 19A-490. I understand it to be, it could be an establishment like Rushford that, sits down with people sometimes in a clinical setting with regard to alcohol or drug addiction. And I know you're probably going to refer me back to the statute, but I'm having a lot of trouble wrapping my arms around the need here for this. And essentially, there's a $25,000 fine, which, if I may ask, is there an adjudicative process that is contemplated under this language, or does DPH just come in with their heavy hand and say, you've been fined $25,000? I don't find it, but I defer to you. Is there an adjudicative process?
Representative, I think, as with most, if not all, fines that are handed out by administrative branch agencies, those are generally appealable under the I'm blanking on the name of the statute.
Uniform Administrative Procedure Act?
Uniform Administrative Procedures Act. So generally you can take an appeal through the Superior Court when those are handed down pursuant to that statutory scheme. Again, I can't speak for the Labor Committee from who this bill came from, but I certainly would be comfortable that there be a floor amendment that makes it clear that there is an ability to appeal that fine through the Administrative Procedures Act. I think that's standard due process and how we handle most every fine handed out by an administrative agency.
I appreciate that. And I would, with all due respect, I'd go a step further, because a 4-183 appeal, which I've done plenty of them, it's a record review. So, and the standard being, was the underlying administrative agency arbitrary and capricious, illegal in their act? So I would have in here some sort of notice, some sort of ability to have a hearing at that administrative level, so that the Superior Court, should an appeal be brought, actually has a record to look at. Because certainly if this is very draconian language as drafted. So yeah, I think all of that should be inserted in there. I also question in line 780 through 781, it mandates that the employer, it says, shall maintain an unexpired inventory of PPE deemed sufficient by the Commissioner of Public Health. On what basis rotation are we to, and perhaps the public health question, quite frankly, I understand. But it seems like that decree from the Department of Public Health, Minister of Public Health, could change every day. There is no restriction on when they deem it to be sufficient, and then therefore you having to have 90 days. So I don't know that compliance is actually even the goal here, quite frankly.
Representative, I would point you to section G of the bill, beginning at line 26, which requires the department to adopt regulations, through the reg review process to carry out the provisions of the overall section, and specifically references such regulations shall establish requirements for the surge capacity levels described in subsection B, which you just cited. So I think my understanding is that it's not a day by day what the commissioner feels at that time, but will be based on the established regulations.
Yes, and that's always a problem with me as well, in that, we have the role of setting up that criteria. We are taking this surge consumption phrase and we are saying to a appointment of the executive branch, you go figure it out. You put together the regulations. That's our job, quite frankly. And last but not least, Mr. Chairman, in line 710, it's 707 through, we'll say 710. It says that the Department of Public Health shall provide PPE to nursing homes and hospitals free of charge during a public health emergency. So I don't know how those two fit together. If you're supposed to pay for, nursing home has to pay for 90 days of supply based upon this criteria created by DPH, but then once there's a triggering event calling for a declaration of public health emergency, as stated on line 707, it says the Commissioner of Public Health shall make personal protection equipment in their stockpile available without charge to, and it lists a bunch of things, including nursing homes and hospitals. So why are we saddling these nursing homes and hospitals with this, which could be a very large expense, if when we actually need it, essentially the taxpayers are going to pay for it under this language? And I don't know that you have an answer, because I know it's a labor bill, but
well, Representative, the only thing I would say is my read of this is I think there's a different procedure during a public health emergency and outside. I think the way I read this, and again, I didn't draft it, it's a referral to us, but I believe the intent is under section 10 is, these covered providers should maintain a 90-day supply of PPE outside of public health emergency. Public health emergency is declared. Obviously, if you can't readily get PPE during a public health emergency, you're going to start to, draw down on that supply during that 90-day period. In that instance, during that drawdown and the declaration of the public health emergency, the covered provider is no longer going to be assessed a fine for having a supply that drops below the mandated level. That's in lines 814 to 823 of the bill. In those instances, the backstop, when the private providers are not able to provide the PPE to the employees, that's where the Department of Public Health kicks in on line 707. That's my read of it. Again, not having drafted it, but seems to make intuitive sense.
thank you. Moving on to line 820, it talks about declared when you were just referencing that shall not be assessed penalty. This is that provision starting at 814. And it says when that would happen. So it says a public health emergency declared by the governor, state of emergency declared by the governor, which I don't know what that is. Is that a civil preparedness emergency or is it a public health emergency? Because they are in two totally different statutes. Civil preparedness emergency is in 28-9. A public health emergency is in 19A 131 at sec. I don't know that state of emergency is defined in here, but I think that's something that's going to have to be worked out. But what's an other health emergency in 820, if you know? It appears that, go, thank you.
Yeah, my assumption is this gives the commissioner some flexibility. I think the intent here is to give the commissioner an out from imposing the fine where it is reasonable to forego that fine because of conditions on the ground, be that some local emergency, some state emergency, or some other instance that would, in the discretion of the commissioner, constitute a health emergency.
Okay, I respect that answer. Given that it's separate and apart, it would not be an emergency declared by the governor, so it's not a statewide emergency. We already have declared local emergency in the line just before this clause. So it's something other than a statewide emergency or a local emergency.
Yeah.
So
maybe you have an outbreak in a particular facility, and that particular facility has to be quarantined for some reason, and you dwindle into the supply much quicker than anticipated because there was some outbreak of something in one facility that may not be a statewide issue or even a town-wide issue. I think, like I said, I read this as kind of a catch-all to give the, to your concern about not unfairly penalizing or fining a covered business under this. I think this actually gives a degree of discretion and a degree of control to the public health commissioner to say, no, given the facts on the ground, I'm not going to impose a fine in a particular instance.
no, I understand that. The problem is, though, it shouldn't be one-sided. One should be able to use that to defend that healthcare provider. So without direction from our legislature as to what is an or other health emergency, you're leaving the enforcement of this open to discretion and unfair utilization. If a hospital or a particular healthcare facility has an outbreak of something, I'm going to guarantee you that the local health district is going to get involved. And if there's an order to quarantine, well, that doesn't come from, the administrator of the hospital. That comes from the local health district. They make that determination. So that would be, as far as I know, a declared local emergency. So the utilization of this clause or other health emergency has to mean something else, but I go on. In line, the section 826 through 835 deals with these regulations that are to be promulgated. And it says at the end that they shall not establish policies or standards that are less protective or prescriptive than any federal, state, or local law on PPE standards. So what other standards do we have with regard to PPE in our law?
I'm not aware of any.
So how could it possibly be in conflict with other state standards?
Well, that's not to say that standards can't or won't be promulgated in the future, which which would necessitate a revision to the regulations. Presumably, this is not a static period in time. These regulations would need to be updated from time to time based on advances in PPE science.
Thank you. The last thing I had is, we all know why we're doing this to a certain extent, because, we've just gone through a pandemic. However, the intent of this is to deal with future situations. I hope that whatever regulations ultimately that I won't get to vote on are clear enough so that a business can comply. For instance, a hazmat suit. Would hazmat suits be required to be part of PPE? Unfortunately, we're not going to make that decision. But hazmat suits are utilized by more than one person on occasion. And there's language in here that says that the PPE cannot be reused. I hope that whomever drafts these regulations takes those things into consideration. It doesn't make this so onerous that one can't comply. So I thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity to ask the questions. Thank you for your answer.
Thank you. Further questions or comments on this bill? Further, Representative Dubitsky.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question is fairly brief, and it is limited to, I believe, the section that is within the cognizance of our committee. There are the bill requires that an employer maintain a stock of PPE, and if the failure to do so results in a fine. Under lines 814 through 823, there is a provision that the employer will not be fined if they fall below the required level, having given the PPE out to the workers, which makes perfect sense. You have a stock of PPE. There's a declared emergency. You give it out to your people, and obviously your stock goes down. And under that, the employer doesn't get fined. However, in line 785 through 787, it also says that each covered provider shall provide an inventory of its PPE to the department upon request from the department. So if I'm an employer, I've got a closet full of PPE. At virtually any time, it doesn't even appear that it has to be during the declared emergency. The department can come in and say, give me your stock of PPE. And the employer will need to provide it. And then if they do so, obviously their stock drops, perhaps below the required level, and under subsection 2, which is lines 814 through 823, there is no provision to exempt them from the fine. So they would be exempt from the fine if they give out the PPE to their own workers, but they won't be exempt from the fine if the department comes in and takes their PPE. That doesn't make any sense to me. And I think that's a significant problem, because that would put an employer at risk of being fined for nothing that the employer does, if the department just decides it needs their PPE.
Representative, I agree with you that that language could be clearer. I think what the intent here is if you look at line 818, the fine would not be assessed where the PPE is provided to another covered provider's workers. Presumably, what is being contemplated between these two sections is that the Department of Public Health comes in, they, they ask for PPE from one provider, presumably to provide it to another provider who would need it based on the needs or circumstances. Think, for example, when we had COVID first hit, certain parts of the state were hit harder than others, at least initially. So it, for example, early on in the pandemic, it made sense for hospitals in northern or eastern Connecticut to be sending PPE to Fairfield County, which had a desperate need for it. I suspect that is the intent of these two sections, and I think your concern is remedied by the words on line 818. But I would agree with you that as this bill moves forward, the proponents of it should make that language a little bit clearer.
Mr. Chair.
Yep, Senator Whitfield.
Yeah, just because I may have misunderstood the question. I thought we were referring to line 785 through 787. And as I read it, that seems to indicate that the inventory of the PPE should be made. And I'm not sure that means that you have to hand over your inventory. So I'm not sure, and as has been represented, that there's work to be done and that the proponents are willing. I'm not sure that that's what the intention is here. And I can see how you could interpret it that way, but I'm not sure that's what the intention actually is here. And would just suggest to anyone who's concerned about that we certainly can get clarity, but it could be read to mean something different so that the department has knowledge of what that inventory is, given what we're talking about here. Through you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, and that's a fair reading, Senator Winfield. Thanks for pointing that out. So I think the point is, the department may say, how many masks do you have on hand? Your inventory is 1,000 masks. You have to provide them with a statement of your inventory rather than handing over the PPE itself. But again, no matter, I think we can all agree that like I said, the proponents have said they're willing to work to flush out some of this language, moves forward, and hopefully we can get clarity on that.
That certainly would be a very different situation then. And I guess the language of this bill should be clear enough that an employer could understand whether or not they have to hand over a list on a piece of paper, or if they need to hand over their supply. Two very different things that this language easily lends itself to both. So I do think that needs to be clarified. That was my only comment. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative. Senator Champagne.
Thank you. Anywhere in this bill, does it cover public health and what their responsibilities are?
Not sure what you mean by that, Senator.
Well, in the beginning of this pandemic, the public health went into their stocks to pull out the masks, and they were all expired. All the elastics were falling off, and created a pretty big problem across the state. In fact, I think it contributed to a lot of the continuing of this pandemic. And does any part of this bill, I mean, we're going after the employers, does any part of this bill require the Department of Public Health rotate their stock out and keep their stock available in case a pandemic happens?
Senator, that, I'm not sure that is technically this bill. This is a labor bill that to us with respect to protecting employees in as was just referenced, I think there are provisions by which PPE is to be better maintained kind of across the state through this bill. Your question is a valid one. I'm just not sure it's the cognizance of this committee.
Well, I just find it funny that we're doing this. And part two on that is I know many of the employers aren't going to be forthcoming with the amount of PPE they have, simply because, the same thing with Representative Dubinsky. If all of a sudden, the state finds that they let their stuff rot on the shelf again, that they're going to come looking across the state for PPE, and then the person who had actually taken care of it has enough stock available, I'd be afraid that the state's going to come and take theirs now. And then there's not going to be enough left for their employees. And if there's not enough left for their employees, I'd be afraid of the $25,000 fine going to them for being responsible. So, I know we keep saying that we can fix this bill, we can change this bill, but I have a hard time every time I hear that coming out of a committee, because, when this gets to the floor, especially given the circumstances of what's been going on lately, I fear that this is basically going right after the employers and the state, who should have had a very large supply of materials, let it rot on the shelf. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Further questions or comments from the committee? Further questions or comments from the committee? Seeing none, Madam Administrator, if you could call the roll.
And that was 6595 JF. Motion. Senator Winfield.
Senator Winfield in the affirmative.
Senator Winfield is voted in the affirmative. We just let Representative Pablo D'Amato in. Excuse me. Representative Stafstrom.
Representative Stafstrom. Representative Stafstrom. Representative Stafstrom. No, still no.
No,
In the
you got it.
Got it. Okay. Affirmative.
Thank you, Representative Stafstrom. Senator Kasser.
Senator Kasser votes yes.
Senator Kasser has voted yes. Thank you. Representative Blumenthal.
Representative Blumenthal votes yes.
Representative Blumenthal has voted yes. Senator Kissel. Representative Fishbein.
Representative Fishbein votes no.
Representative Fishbein is voting no. Senator Anwar. Senator Bradley. Representative Callahan.
Representative Callahan votes no.
Representative Callahan has voted no. Senator Champagne.
Senator Champagne votes no.
Senator Champagne has voted no. Representative Conley has abstained. Representative Curry.
Representative Curry votes yes.
Representative Curry is voting yes from the House floor. Representative Dillon.
Representative Dillon votes yes.
Representative Dillon has voted yes. Representative DeMassa. Representative Doucette. Representative Dubinsky.
Representative Dubinsky votes no.
Representative Dubinsky, could you please repeat?
Representative Dubinsky votes no.
Thank you, Representative Dubinsky. Representative Fiorello. Senator Flexer. Representative Fox. Representative Gilchrist.
Representative Gilchrist votes yes.
Thank you, Representative Gilchrist. Representative Godfrey.
And Representative Godfrey votes yes.
Representative Godfrey is voting yes. Representative Harding.
Representative Harding votes no.
Representative Harding has voted no. Senator Haskell. Representative Howard.
Representative Howard from the passenger seat on a Tuesday, there we go, votes no.
Representative Howard votes no. Representative Labriola.
Representative Labriola votes no.
Representative Labriola has voted no. Senator Lesser. Representative Luxembourg. Representative O'Day.
Luxembourg.
I am sorry, Representative O'Day, if you don't mind waiting just a moment. I didn't realize Representative Luxembourg was here. Welcome.
Good morning. Luxembourg votes yes.
Representative Luxembourg has voted yes. Thank you. Representative O'Day, thank you for waiting patiently.
Representative O'Day votes no.
Representative O'Day has voted no. Thank you. Representative Palm.
Representative Palm votes yes.
Representative Palm has voted yes. Representative Pavlik Tomato.
Havelock Tomato votes no.
Could you please repeat?
Havelock Tomato votes no.
Representative Pavlik Tomato has voted no. Thank you. Representative Porter. Representative Quinn.
Representative Quinn votes yes.
Could you please repeat?
Representative Quinn votes yes.
Representative Quinn has voted yes. Representative Rabimbis.
Representative Rabimbis votes no.
Representative Rabimbis has voted no. Representative Riley. Senator Sampson. Representative Sims. Representative Beach.
Representative Sims votes in the affirmative.
Representative Sims has voted in the affirmative. Representative Beach.
Representative Veach votes no.
Representative Beach has voted no. Thank you. Representative Walker.
Representative Walker votes in the affirmative.
Representative Walker has voted in the affirmative. Thank you. Representative Young. Representative Young. Okay, I know that Senator, I think Senator Haskell has joined us. Senator Haskell, are you there?
Well, it's in my, Maya, wait. What?
Yeah, I knew. Has anyone else joined us that I didn't get?
All right. With that, we are going to hold the votes open till 11 o'clock so that folks can get their votes in. If there's nothing further from my ranking member co-chair, we are going to stand in recess until 11, and we will let you know if and when we will be back together for more referred bills. All right, take care, everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Hey, Deb. Representative Sims here.
Hello, Representative Sims.
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you doing today?
Good, good. You just, I mean, we only had the one bill. So.
Oh, just that one bill?
That was it. Yeah, we changed it last night. They recommitted the first bill. So we're good.
Okay, so I'm good.
You are perfect.
All right, you have a good day.
You as well, Representative.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Deb, are there any other votes?
No, Representative Pavlik Tomato. We had just a bill on the agenda for today, and bill got removed last evening or early evening. So.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you for checking. Take care. Have a good day.
You too. You too.
Hi, Deb.
Hello, Representative Doucette. Thank you.
Morning. How are you?
Good morning. We just had one bill on the agenda, and
Right.
it's 6595, which was a JF. How do you care to vote, Representative Doucette?
Rep. Doucette votes yes.
Representative Doucette has voted yes. Thank you.
I just stepped away for a little while. I guess I just missed the grand
Yeah.
finale of the meeting. I apologize.
Of course. No worries. It's nice in the white shirt. It's the first time I think I've seen you in a white shirt. Looks nice.
I know. I don't often wear it, but
Have a good
it's a
day.
session day. So,
There you go. Get
all
fancy.
right.
Take care.
Thanks, Deb. Good to see you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hello, Representative Fox.
Morning, Deb. How are you?
Good morning to you. We're doing well. Thank you. I don't, if you saw, we just down to one bill now on the agenda, 6595, which was a JF. How do you care to vote, Representative Fox?
The chair voted affirmative, correct?
That's correct.
I'll vote in the affirmative.
Okay, could you please say Representative
Oh,
Fox?
sure. Representative Fox votes in the affirmative.
Perfect. Thank you so much. You're
Thank
all
you.
set. Done.
Great. That was easy.
It sure was. Easy
Take
button.
care. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Have a good one.
Hello?
Hello, Senator.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning to you. So welcome to our meeting. It is, have one bill on the agenda, 6595, an act concerning labor matters related to COVID-19, personal protective equipment, and other staffing issues, and it was a JF. How do you care to vote, Senator?
So my question was, I thought we were going to refer one to general law.
The we did not do that. The House recommitted the bill, so that they sent it to general law.
Oh, that's gone.
That's gone.
That's
Right.
gone.
So 5:45, I think, is when I changed the agenda. And so now we just have the one bill.
Gotcha. How did Craig vote?
Representative Fishbein voted in the negative.
In the negative. Then I will follow suit.
Okay, so you joined the rest of your Republican colleagues so far in voting no to the bill. So
Well, you know, consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds, but that's the way I'll go.
There you go. Could you please announce yourself, Senator Kissel?
Hi. Senator John Kissel votes nay.
Thank you, Senator John Kissel. We have your vote.
Thank you. How pleasant.
Have a sparkling day.
You too.
Take care. Good luck.
Thanks.
Not too late.
How do I get out? There's no way out.
You're here forever.
I guess so. I'm hitting that X, but it's not going away. Technology. It's great when it works.
I just stopped your video, so I'll mute you.
Good morning, Deb.
Good morning, Senator Haskell. Thank you for your patience. Sorry.
Of course. No,
All righty, Senator Haskell, we have one bill on the agenda.
earlier, it's just one bill, right?
Yeah, just the one bill, and that was a JF. Senator Haskell, how do you care to vote?
Senator Haskell votes yes.
Thank you, Senator Haskell. We're all done.
All right. Thanks, Deb. Have a great day.
You as well. Bye-bye now. Thank you, George. Yes. No, I think just the one. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all we need. Thank you. Hello, Representative Riley.
Good morning.
Good
Can you hear me?
morning to you. I can hear you fine. Thank you.
Great. Just the one item, correct?
Just the one item, 6595. It was a JF. Representative Riley, how do you care to vote?
Representative Riley votes yes.
Representative Riley has voted yes. Okay, that's it.
Great.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You as well, hon. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hello, Senator Anwar.
Sorry for being a little late. How are
No,
you?
no worries. Good morning, Senator.
Okay,
We
so
we just have one bill on the agenda, 6595, and that's a JF. Senator Anwar, how do you care to vote?
give me 1 second and I will speak intelligently in a second if there is something like that I can do. So what was the number again? 65?
6595, an act concerning labor matters related to COVID-19, personal protective equipment, and other staffing issues.
Oh, yes, I vote yes.
Can you please announce yourself when you're using your vote?
Absolutely. Senator Anwar votes yes.
Senator Anwar has voted yes. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Zoe.
Bye-bye. Good morning, Representative Porter.
Good morning, Deb.
How you doing?
Oh my God, I need about 10 more me.
I'm sure a lot of people say that about you.
Oh my gosh, what a day. And it's only what, 10 o'clock?
I know, it's hard to imagine. It is hard to imagine how crazy this whole session has been in life. Okay, so we're down to one bill on the agenda. You knew the other bill's going over to general law.
Yeah.
So it's 6595 and act concerning labor matters related to COVID-19, personal protective equipment, and other staffing issues. It's a JF. Representative Porter, how do you care to vote?
Representative Porter votes in the affirmative.
Representative Porter voted enthusiastically in the affirmative.
Yes, ma'am.
All righty, you have a good day. Hang in there.
Thank you. You too, Deb.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Representative Fiorello, good morning.
Good morning. I apologize, I couldn't get on this morning, but, and I'm driving, as you can see, but I'm here to cast my vote.
Okay, so we just have the one bill, 6595, and that concerning labor matters related to COVID-19, personal protective equipment, and other staffing issues. It was a JF. Representative Fiorello, how do you care to vote?
Okay, Representative Fiorello votes no.
Representative Fiorello has voted no. Okay, that's it, done.
Thank you, Deb. Have a great
Thank you.
day.
You as well. Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, thank you. Yeah, I got him in.
Hello, Madam Administrator.
Hello, Senator Lesser. How are you?
Whoever I am.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thanks, baby. Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent. All righty. We have one bill on the agenda, 6595. Senator Lesser, how do you care to vote?
In the affirmative, please.
Okay, could you please say Senator Lesser votes in the,
Thank you. Take care.
can you please say Senator Lesser votes in the affirmative? Well, I think we got him for all intents and purposes. Hey,
I'm showing 4.
I have, let's see, what's in this one? Let me shut up my audio. Hello, Senator. Senator.
Good morning.
Good morning, Senator. How are you? We have one bill
I'm
on
okay.
the
How are you?
good. We have one bill on the agenda, 6595. If you can turn on your video, and then if you could cast your vote.
Senator Flexer votes yes.
Senator Flexer's voting yes. Excellent. Okay, you're all set. I'm sorry to have bothered you for all this just over that.
No. It's okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Goodbye, Rose. I know. Sorry. And I saw you were on there, Representative Young, in there. Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Hello, Representative Young.
Good morning.
Good morning. 6595 with JF. How do you care to vote, Representative Young?
Representative Young votes yes.
Representative Young has voted yes. Done. Thank you. Have a good day.
Hi, Deb.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm hanging in. This is one of those crazy days. You know how it goes.
It is. Yeah, and it's only, that's just kind of like the way it's gonna be.
I know.
Well, anyways, it's all good. It's all good. Okay, Representative Damaso, we have one bill on the agenda, 6595, which was a JF. Did you want me to read out the title?
No, that's quite all right. Representative DeMassa votes in the affirmative.
Representative Damaso's voted in the affirmative. Thank you.
Thanks, Deb. Have a good one.
Thanks for joining us. You have a good one as well. Hello all, it is 11 o'clock. The pursuant to the chair's call, the Judiciary Committee meeting for Tuesday, May 18th has now closed. See you later. Take care.